Hi, Chris here. I saw the thing where Joe Biden grabbed a random woman next to him and said that's his son who passed. I'd been there. I'd lost, you know, uh, yeah, tough stuff, guys. It's a sad planet. Love isn't real, it's just to make a kid, and everything here eats to live, and it all gets old and dies, and it's clear all the religions are made up. They're just made up. A religion that's a true religion will give accurate predictions that turn out true and not prophecies that manifest because a human being can paint a prophecy into existence if he thinks no one knows he's doing it. I'm loving my shady spot. Look at this. Right? I found this rock. That's all, that's like bright. I don't know if you can see all the way down to the mountains out there. I'm in Barstow. It's ridiculously close to California. I just haven't made the move to go into California yet. To go into LA, get some beach time. Yeah. I'm not, like, people don't make any sense to me. They go to the hot, maybe it's because I'm English, I'm from an island that gets no sunshine, any sunshine is like too much for me. And, um, yeah, you know, everyone's selfish. No one knows what they're doing, and it's just not that good of a life. I mean, I'm just yeeting myself out of here. Joe Biden grabbed this one person. I am an Iraq veteran. I went through explosions and shit, and I did have problems. Like, Joe Biden confused a woman for his dead son. I've done that where I confused people for dead people. People I knew that were dead, and I thought they were right in front of me, and they weren't. It was embarrassing. I actually took a day off. Who knows what year this was? Maybe 2007, 2008, or something like that. I took a year off, and not a year off, but I had to take a couple days off because it was like I had just like something happen anyway. That's why I'm paid now, thank God. I'll never have anything really great happen to my life, but at least I have fucking at least I'm not starving, you know. Other nations they did that. Like, you're a veteran, you come back, you got problems, or you're on the street, and someone's gonna. And here's the thing: is that all these people who have jobs because they have to, no one gave them free money, and so there's all sorts of humans who like they hate and resist you. They're like, you get paid for doing nothing. It's Rad Island people. They don't care about you. They don't know anything about my problems. They don't know anything about me. Well, you look fine to me. I heard that. You look fine to me. I saw people fucking look at a dude who had shriveled arms and shriveled legs and go, oh, he's fine. He's not disabled. They're just saying that because they don't want anyone getting any free fucking money. They have to work and they're pissed. They're pissed they have to have 2 or 3 jobs. They don't want anyone else to have any fucking support, but, you know, it's not like I was born disabled. I fucking joined your fucking shitty war and you promised to pay for my ass, so you're gonna do it. You know. I'm not the one who designed the economy. Listen, you designed an economy based around scarcity. You wanted the US dollar to be scarce, and that way it has value, right? And so what you did is you printed it at debt, maximum scarcity, it's already in a negative value, and then and that's because European banking powers talked you into it. Anyway, and then you take some of it every time it's used. Well, yeah, it's awful. It's printed at debt, and then you lose some of it every time you use it for that goes to the government. It's annoying. It's a bad system. It sucks for the people here. Like, you'll never get ahead. You'll never get ahead. And I'm pretty sure now that like, if something's appearing in the viral media, you never know who's pulling the string to get it into your eyes, you know what I mean? It's never what it seems. It's always like, these people are tricks. These people are infinite tricks. Infinite tricks, deceptions, and lies. That's humans. But, yeah, life just sucks, man. All the religions are fake. I lived just in this one life, and it was hard and shitty, and then it's gone, You had your funny guy, Robin Williams. Robin Williams was completely alone. Nobody loved him. You think Robin Williams was off hooking up with chicks on the side? No, he wasn't. He had hairy arms and he was embarrassed about who he was. He married a like you got all these famous people marrying ugly ass women. I've known and don't let guys fool you. There's a lot of guys that act like they're cool as fuck and they just end up with like ugly shitty girls. You know what I mean? They're not that cool if that's where you ended up. Um, and yeah, you got Robin Williams killed himself. He was the genie in Aladdin. He had so much positive energy, and he just had to fucking die. And people going, "Oh, he had a neuro problem, whatever." You used him while he was high. That's the thing is that it's really hypocritical. Like all these people eat up comedy from people who are on marijuana and cocaine, but they don't allow it themselves because their dog training government has said, we don't want a bunch of, we don't think we're going to be able to tell all these people to get a job if they're all drug addicted. So that's pretty much it. Made it illegal for them, not you. Hey, one of the benefits of being high is you don't feel the dirt and you can live or sit pretty much anywhere and you feel great. It'd be like, you don't get it, but like the dude who's actually like a super winner with all these wives and a palace and like everything you could ever want is his and everyone compliments him. He feels good always, all that stuff. That guy doesn't feel as good as the guy on heroin, and I've never done heroin, but I wouldn't shy from it being offered. It sounds like they're like fentanyl. Kill you in one dose. All right, so there is an ego death uh, conundrum for people who try substances because the part of you that listened to everyone telling you it's going to be bad and you shouldn't is literally just going to be obliterated. You're going to be like, who is that guy? You're not going to agree anymore, and that's the death that they talk about when these things kill you. It's mostly a joke. It's taking the egoic person who thinks they're their body and completely changing them. Um, and yeah. And then here's the thing, they just focus on the people who take it really far and become a problem and say, look, there's evidence you shouldn't do it, but they're not seeing the millions of artists. Like, they eat up works that are done by people who are on LSD and heroin. Everything made by Radiohead, guaranteed LSD and heroin. Every Nirvana, all these bands, Korn, all the music industry and all the art industry and all the acting and all the celebrities are all high as fuck and they love them, but they don't want to try it themselves. They'd rather keep it illegal. Okay. It's Monkey Island people. Like stop signs. Stop signs are a joke. I blow through stop signs. If I can see all the roads, I don't need to obey I don't need to obey I have dominance over written words. I don't care what words were said by who. I don't care what your titles are. I don't care what clothes you wear. I don't care where you sit. I don't care who you know. Your words and thoughts, if you're not right here, right now with me, don't matter. I don't care if you wrote it down. This is why I hate public education is to make someone an obedient dog. It's to stand up, sit down, pledge allegiance. You got people who are tearing. America has straight up abused people. It's a giant prison state. It forces you into complied work, and because of wages, they're never going to let you get ahead. You're just going to be a fucking indebted, poisoned, sugared out fucking idiot. And they go ahead and people defend it because they were raised in it and they were told it was beautiful and they oughta, right? Mandatory compliance with orders is what they're all about. Yeah, and they always start, here's the thing with luring, you always start simple. If I can say, what's your name? And if you answer like you're a dog, then they control the conversation, right? And that's what pickup teaches you. It's called hoop theory, is that what you do is you interrupt the hoop. You notice if someone asks you a question and you turn and ask them another, they go, I asked you first. First doesn't mean anything to me. Ask a better question. Now you see I own it again, right? Ask a better question. Now they have to do it again, right? That's hoop theory. And that's what most people are doing. They're like, who's got the leash? Where's the little thing? It's annoying. But yeah, I am giving up on love. As I get older, it does get better because, as I'm hitting 35, right? I'm already over 35. I'm starting to feel like that completely mad, incensed energy of like looking for a mate dissipate. You know, it's clear God's not real. Adam and Eve is a hoax. The whole thing is made up by people. It's Cannibal Island people. I mean, like, you think that, yeah, there could be a divinity because again I got the mirror story and all that weird stuff, but the other thing is that it's also like not divinity because humans are on the side of keeping the hoaxes and the myths going. You know what I mean? It's Trick Island. God hasn't stopped an angular fish from using a lure to catch bait. God hasn't ferried the tunnel funnel spider out of the funnel. He says go right ahead. Use as many grasshoppers as you want. That grasshopper has a parasite in it that's gonna fucking eat you alive from the inside. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's what time it is. That's what's going on in nature. Hundreds of millions of years of mouth city. Eat or be eaten. Eat or starve. That sort of thing. And yeah, it's kind of sad. I am not a paleontologist, but I do understand how going really deep in the earth, it's extremely difficult to dig a deep hole with primitive people with shovels. But when you start getting into, like, diesel engines with giant beds, giant machines that can bore and drill and scoop massive amounts of dirt, now you have people digging at a rate they've never dug before, plus just development. You're just running into things that were hidden. You know, um, there was a whole layer of life. I don't know if it's a hoax. It may. See, the thing is the presence of the church and the threat of the church is so great that I'm sure they could attract some people who are trying to disrupt what they're doing anyway, right? So, but yeah, it's getting nicer as my drive to mate and find a mate is going away because I know it's a trick. I'm not falling for it. Oh, I love her. No, you don't. You want a baby with her. You want more of these people, more mouths. They're always disqualifying each other and throwing each other under the bus. And the thing with comedy is Robin Williams wasn't innocent. Robin Williams made fun of a lot of people. And he threw a lot of people under the bus. You notice if comedy's going on, there's one out group that's the brunt of the joke. And it's so great if you're not that, but if you're ever that, if they ever come around and you're the joke, oh, it hurts. You can't laugh with it. You're being eaten. Your social status is being brought down right before your eyes, you know what I mean? And that's how people are. They're social climbers, and there's lots of arts involved in that, like how to make it look like you and how to insult them directly but make it look like you didn't think about it but you did. you, it's rude. It's rude. It is Snake Island. Everyone's got a mouth. Everyone has to eat to live, and you got sexual selection. You got physical selection. You got the Bible literally threatening, banning big dicks. You got to circumcise your kids. I got genitally mutilated without anesthesia when I was a baby. You know what I mean? You want me to be your friend? You fucking touched my dick with a knife, bro. And then, they looked at foreskins. Foreskins have neurons in them. It was a totally M. Shahil priest pretending he's talking to God and giving all these extreme freaking measures, and people just said, yeah, sounds true enough. I could imagine life is so awful. I gotta cut a piece of my kid's dick off, or I'm going to hell. That seems like what this place is. But it's just a myth. If you don't know the physical history of Earth, if you're not like keen on what the physical history of Earth is, then there's no way you're giving prescriptions for God. Just no way. Made up. Oh, lo beseeches that, and in the hither time. Stupid. It's made up. And this is kind of comedy. I'm a comedian. I got 6 Emmys in my family for comedy. I'm trying to be kind of funny. But it also pisses me off. Like, you know. when I was a kid, it was clear everyone in the family was ready to. It's all dog training, and especially among like working class or lower class, is they know they have to show up at a certain time and do things specifically as asked, or they get reprimanded. They get punished. You're a fucking dog. You're trained. Fuck you. You know. Yeah. Trying to keep the sun off. It's hitting the top. I can start to feel it warm up. This is a better day, but I'm finally like this will be the last warm day, and then I'm gonna have like two 50-degree cold days is what I'm promised. I hope it happens. Yeah, the weather is weird. Sometimes they're like it's soothsaying. It's like literally perfect, and other times it's like a total letdown. What they said would happen didn't at all. The times it's perfect, I guess, are the weird ones because they're using historicity and who knows what else, meteorology. It's got to be. For you to be accurate at all, you got to know what you're doing. There's no way you could just guess that shit. Or look at a historical record. You got to look at like where the things are right now. Be able to read data to tell what is going to happen. I'm sure there's wizard people who know a lot about it, right? Like if you look at meteorological data all day and you deal with predictions, like after 40 years, you got to be like, you see the miners data change and you're like, "Uh-oh, look at this." Right? I'd be a good actor. I should have been an actor. I mean, I was born in Hollywood with a fucking famous director as an uncle. I should have been an actor, but Christianity and the Christians stopped me. Yeah. Christianity is a wicked cult. It really is. Like it just says shit. It's a human saying he's speaking for God and that's it. That's how it is. God doesn't stop snakes from using venom. God doesn't stop the lion from tearing apart the gazelle. You know what I mean? There's nothing stopping one human from lying to another human and saying God told me. Nothing whatsoever. And I don't believe in karma because all the karma religions or reincarnation because all the karma reincarnation, the trick that made the earlier person is still around in the DNA. You got to remember that only successful people breed. You know what I mean? Like, and my dad was only marginally successful. Yeah, he had a wife, but love wasn't abundant at home, and he was like, he was really like, my dad decided from the beginning he wasn't going to let his family steal his money, but as a child under him, it just felt like I was unwanted. It was always no. It was always he had, and he would always get something. If he got me anything, he would always get something in return. It was like my dad was not a person I love. I do not love my dad, nor do I respect him. I think he's a big idiot. He acts like he's cooler than he is, but he always goes to church all the time. He goes to church all the fucking time. You know, bowing his head in Catholicism. His wife is an old shriveled fucking Nazi. you know. But yeah, he tried some shit. My dad got me circumcised aggressively as like a form of attack. I truly believe that. I truly believe that. I think I remember that. I think I had my foreskin until I was like 5, and then he forced me to get it as like a fucking attack. See, I don't remember it exactly, but I remember it's trauma, guys. It's trauma. But and then he goes, "Oh well, I want it. It's cleaner." Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy in his whole life. When Stephen Haight actually dies, I'm gonna take a hammer and destroy his grave and take a shit on top of it and leave a bunch of toilet paper on it. Like, they'd be like, who did that? His fucking son. Anyway, he tried that where he was doing like, real like he's like starting the beating regimen, and at that point, I told my mom he touched me inappropriately, and she divorced him. Yeah, it was kind of. See, the thing is, my whole life, don't ever let people talk you into feeling guilty. From like grade school, all my whole life, I felt guilty about it, like I betrayed him. But then I go back and go, he fucking cut a piece of my dick off. I wanted that piece. It has neurons in it. It does something. It doesn't feel right. He ruined my life over that. Yeah, fuck him and his wife. My dad is a piece of shit. I fucking hate that guy. He owes me. He owes me his four. If there is reincarnation, he owes me another circumcision. He's gonna get circumcised. He's gonna hope it didn't happen. And it's gonna happen. And it's gonna ruin his life because his fucking dildo, his dick's not gonna work normal. All for some Shahil priest claiming he's fucking speaking for God. That's what the mantra is. The mantra is designed to replace your original personality. They don't want you to have an option to be who you were when you got there. They want you to be the religious zealot. It's a harsh place. Earth, it's not easy. Um, what's going to be the title of this? Go home and give up. Yeah, go home and give up. Here's the thing about all these people. If they transition to being vegetarian and use like GMO plants to grow a massive abundance of food for them, they would already be like 900% better than they are right now. And if they lived in like sustainable communities, means you're not trashing the planet with undigestible garbage, because there's a trash selection going on now in nature. Unless you can handle a massive amount of trash flooding your environment, new materials, even metal. You don't get metal without extreme heat. There's nothing in nature that uses metal. They need extreme heat to do it. Maybe, yeah, maybe if you digest some steel, your body will put it someplace. Like you get a little steel, a bit of steel from the clay, your body will be like, whatever this is. But yeah, you need extreme heat to make metal and to shift metal, and then you need plastic, however that's made. I don't know anything about petroleum plastics, like nothing. Anyway, so now those are in all the freaking fish bellies, right? There might be some fish that just happen to be able to handle it for whatever reason, but you know, you'll only know that by after an extinction event, you know. And it is like, as scientists say, like 99% of most species who lived here died. And here's the thing, guys. I don't mean to hate you, but I know who you are. I grew up with you. I have you as a dad. I have you as a mom. I see you in the news and media. I see you in your fights. Like Conor McGregor is one of the loudest people on earth, but he's like a welterweight. He's like a featherweight. Like you don't see the heavyweights out there making that much noise. Maybe that's why it's funny. I'm the best fighter in the world. No one else can take me. And he's like, thank God for weight classes. Because if anyone could respond to that, it would be a problem. That's people, though. They're not that great. Not even me. You know. You know. If you guys were nicer to me, if I knew you to be like, you're all fake, you're all tricks, you're all trying to stab each other in the back, screw each other over. There's a ton of guys. That's their whole MO. They know it's Snake Island, and they're not missing a meal. You know what I mean? It's a lot of advertisers, a lot of oh yeah, let me help you start your business. I'm great at that. No, he's gonna sign you into some product that you don't need, that won't tell you anything. You know, every course I've ever been in is pushing the reason to the course. Every course I've ever been in pushes the reason for the course till like the middle of the course, and then by then they just swap it for some like terrible price you have to pay. Like, yeah, I mean, like as a kid I was putting into, it's basically a work camp. Learn to listen. Listen to our authority and then tell us what we told you back to us. It's all that, you know. But what I learned when I was alone is that I had so many graceful, powerful talents, right? Is that if I was actually respected, you could have flashed me a book that had little hints of all the information on Earth, and I would have picked it up and known everything I know now. No problem. But you know, that didn't work to the dog training regimen that the freaking serial killers made for us. So yeah, you know, how is your police budget bigger than your GDP? Well, obviously, America's a hoax. Obviously, it's just a fucking slave state. It's work for the state or else. And I managed to fit in because I was a soldier. I managed to fit in through the cracks, and they're at least going to make sure I don't starve for the rest of my life, which is nice. I can afford a car to live in and some fucking food every day and good. I'm not growing the food. I don't package the food. I don't ship and refrigerate it and store it and all that stuff. I just eat it, you know. I feel guilty, you know what I mean? Like, but that's the values of the place. There's nothing. If you were to wander around this desert looking for food, you would die. Food and water, unless people are trucking it in for me, I won't exist, right? There are very few lands of plenty in the world, and humans have been massive douchebags. Like, the cultures that grow things and produce food and, like, have cattle, those people get swept in by raiders and they get all their shit stolen, and then all the people talk about in history were the D-bags with knives who were on top of everything, right? You have two big breeding events, Genghis Khan and Charlemagne, both complete tyrants. Charlemagne, here's the thing. If everyone like me, I got Charlemagne blood, have to. There's nobody in England who doesn't have Charlemagne blood. And so what did he say? He said, all the girls are mine, I have divine right, yada yada. Well, how are all the guys? They all think all the girls are theirs. It's kind of poetic, right? If there's ever one trait in one person or generation that's extremely super successful, like saying you're a god and everyone else ought to serve you, and punishing your enemies and doing all sorts of, like, all that crazy shit, right? If that got you a harem of girls and tons of children, and those children grew up to be armies, right? And they all bred, well, that trait that was dominant over one class of people is now the ubiquitous trait. And so now you have all these people that are just upright, like right now in America and human history. I don't know how China's doing, but in America, certainly. Like China, you have, like, you can't have women with these absurdly tiny feet, which is all about a penis insecurity anyway. It is. It's all penis insecurity. Penis envy is. That's probably like 1/3 of human psychology can be explained purely by penis envy. No problem. Because your dick is never, unless your dick is to your knees and as big as a fist, you're not the biggest. You're just not. That's like nobody. So, and how many of those guys that I've seen with dicks that big are just wearing a rubber and I don't even realize it? It's like a magic trick. It'd be tough to trick me. I can perceive that shit. But anyway, what else? Oh yeah, that is like that blonde chick's the biggest black dick in the world. I remember that porn that was a cultural event. But if you look later in the porn, his dick is a totally different size. It's like way smaller. So what's really going on? What's really going on is just they've done it, like a lot of people, warriors too. They sexually disenfranchise how men feel about themselves, and your culture will collapse. There won't be any quality men looking for women, or maybe there only will be. It could backfire, right? All the women knowing that there's such a thing as a small dick will go for all the big ones, and then all of a sudden all you got are big ones. So what was supposed to destroy a culture just made it more powerful than you could possibly imagine, right? There's all sorts of ironies to the breeding game. Yeah, the breeding game is all there is. Who had sex with whom? I don't hate my dad, but my dad is a Homer Simpson. My dad is a Homer Simpson. He is fucking like, he looks like me. If you were to see him and my mom together, you would see me, but I only look like part of him. But yeah, he's just like this ugly, weird looking dude. And here's the thing about people, they all want to be touched. They all want to have someone rub their ears in the back of their head, but outside of mommy, when you're a little kid, that shit ain't happening for you. You touch it. I learned that as a pickup artist. This guy, he leaned in. I was going serging with him, and yeah, he was great. He was a great pickup artist. Like, I've never seen anybody work like him. And he tells me this secret. He says, nobody's ever being touched. You wanna open any social door anywhere, touch people's arms. It takes the subtlest contact to start changing someone's psychology to be like ultra friendly, lovey toward you. It's extremely easy, right? There's guys who pick up guys who do that, but Yeah. I've never been with a guy. I've kissed a guy, but never been with one. And I'm not offended by that. I've drank out of a toilet once because I was tired of giving a shit about it. And I was like, it's the last thing it's kind of like this thing of Tantra. What's the last thing you would do? Do that right now. I mean, in a way, it's a good pattern breaker for people who are stuck. But yeah, they tell you like this is a gotcha people use called stillness. I talk about this in every video pretty much, but stillness, they say you got to be still because it says in the Bible that the sign of God's presence is stillness, right? Personal stillness. It says stop trembling and know that I am God, right? Well, it's a gotcha. You're never going to be able to do that. And all the people pretending like that's the way and they found it are lying. And when they tell you to do it, you'll never be able to do it, but they're abusing you. They may not realize it, but I think they do. My grandpa tried to do that to me. I don't talk to the guy ever again. He played one or two mind control tricks with me, and my dad used to complain about how my grandpa was all right, dad's home, time to beat the children. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my God, they all grew up. None of my dad's siblings. Oh, Martin went mad. Yeah, my uncle Martin. He was making things out of lead and lead shavings, and he literally became like a violent psychopath. Like Martin, yeah, Martin went nuts. Martin went nuts. So, yeah, lead poisoning, that's a thing. Yeah, he was making clocks out of lead, and I remember one of the last times I saw him, it was just an absolute scream factory. It was like he was under attack 24/7. And the dog had something weird going on with his stomach. He said it was stomach cancer, the whole bottom of the dog's. But for some reason these days I was thinking he was grabbing the bottom of the dog's stomach too hard and like twisting it and deforming its flesh. It's pretty severe. Like humans have done terrible things to each other, especially the Romans, and that's how I got circumcised. The whole circumcision cult is like Roman Catholic. It is, and it's just like it's brutal. That's why I don't have. I just like, if you were to ask me, is humanity ready to be 100 billion? I would say they're gonna kill themselves. They're not gonna, and none of them are gonna be far enough away from the planet when that happens, and they're just gonna eat themselves alive. So it basically came down to, I got generally mutilated, lied to by a police state, and everybody I knew was cutthroat as fuck. Everyone's always throwing each other under the bus. Everything they taught me was pretty much semi-true or not true at all. The religions were all lies. Like, do you want to have a kid? No, I wouldn't do this place to a baby. I would never put a human through this. No thanks. You know. I know how it felt to be among you and be alive. I know how it feels now. I'm not, like, happy. I'm not swimming in positive emotions. I'm fucking wrecked. I don't care about you at all. Don't even like you. I know what time it is. It's lie o'clock. The reason this country has everything that they need done and it's really clean. If you notice, people aren't outside self-expressing. Try to have a conversation with a random person on the street. They're all doing what we call passerby. They're trying to be a passerby because it's what Jesus recommends. He's like, just be a passerby. Well, that's a person of weakness. A passerby is a non-existent individual. If you want a person to never have any social presence whatsoever, never be talked about, never be known, yeah, tell them to be a passerby. But it's trying to keep you on the isolated, crazy cult. You know what I mean? Like, Jesus is coming back and we're all going to hell unless we get the magic water on our face. And you gotta surrender yourself to God. Surrendering yourself to God in private will just make you a puppet of the fucking priest. The priests are snakes. Snake Island. It's all Snake Island. So my dad, I think he goes to church as a cover, and I think he stays married and has like a really clean house because of all that, but I'm sure he's in some shady shit. You can't be a serial killer these days because as soon as someone goes, they have 24/7 satellite surveillance. So they're like, and I think it's high def. I think they can literally be like, they could literally rewind to a time scale over like Tucson. Let's say you want to like murder somebody and disappear them in Tucson. They would actually be able to see. They would follow the person from the last known place they were at and be actually like physically able to just follow where they go, which is pretty fascinating. So, yeah. No more serial killers, that's over with. I think you should film everything 24/7, no privacy. I think humanity with like 100 years of no privacy, or even 1,000,000 years of no privacy, would be a lot more honest. Probably be an utterly silent group. Don't say anything about anything ever. It's just I don't feel the kumbaya guys. I'm not having a good time. Yeah, I've had girlfriends. I've had hot girlfriends, but all that shit's about babies. What are you gonna do? Have a kid with what money? You gotta find a money hookup. Anyway, that's the thing that pissed me off about my dad. He never gave me shit. He was lying to me about how much he made from the beginning. It was like growing up in poverty. It was. I couldn't have anything. Anytime I ate, I was eating too much. It was all like diet restricted, and it was like I'm not. I don't like people. Not because of me, but because of who you are. I've known enough of you. I don't like you. You're jerks. Look at what they're doing. They're just big old fucking jerks. Nothing they're talking about is real or actually exists. Global warming is fake as fuck. Al Gore, remember, the Bill Clinton, the guy who visits Pedo Island, invented global warming so he became president in 2000. Yeah, right. Yeah, wait. When did Clinton? Oh yeah, Clinton was the 90s. Clinton was the 90s. I forgot about that. But anyway, it was global cooling. It was global cooling before that, and then global warming. And inconvenient truth, it's like all these like people haven't realized yet that you can't that slapping the word truth on something doesn't actually make it a truth, right? And so there's been a political conspiracy to make this thing look like it's happening. None of it Inconvenient Truth's predictions came true. It made it sound like the Earth was going to be like 17 degrees hotter by 2010, right? Didn't happen, obviously. We're 2022. We're going to have one of the coldest days ever tomorrow, you know. Oh, it causes unique weather patterns. No. The idea is blowing carbon in the atmosphere is causing a greenhouse effect where things are getting warmer because it's like thicker. It's harder for heat to escape or whatever. And then you go, well, it's just stupid. It's just stupid. It is the dumbest thing. And they're still sandbagging. There's a huge group of people where they intellectually disqualify you unless you were on the opinion strata that they think you ought to be on, right? If anyone wanted to watch my lecture and like just listen to it, that would be probably the best way because that's kind of how I intended it. Look at me looking old. Look at that. Oh wow, I got old. I was young just not too long ago. Hey, I guess never will have any kids. Yeah. Oh well. Not missing that. You guys suck. Like if every house on my street besides the one right next to me were just douchebags. Like how do you guys live next to each other and nobody knows anybody? Nobody visits anybody, you know. There were a few cute girls on the block, but there were an equal number of guys and they were doggedly houndedly into them. You know what I mean? Like they will a guy who thinks that you might visit his girl will come around as a friend and secretly destroy you in front of for no reason. Like all of a sudden he's lying about it. He's just like, "What happened?" Oh, he's trying to bring you down so he can so he has free access to his pussy. Well, how do you understand this place? Well, this place I do not. If you were a part of the slave class where your whole genetic line is known as just being the dogged servants of others, don't reproduce. You're just gonna make more fucking fools. But what succeeds is what survives. So if any ancestor at any point got a lot of children by being ruthlessly cutthroat and going after every girl he saw and like lying and manipulating and getting her pregnant, then what you have a society of those people. You have a society of who those guys are, and that's why it exists. Is because it was successful. There's no God watching this. There's no God making sure it's all okay. There's no purpose here. This is a purposeless place. I bet humanity could extinct itself faster than it thinks it could. So, you guys are mean. You're all mean. I don't love you. Yeah, my dad used to act like he didn't have any money. It's just a D-bag. Just a D-bag. Maybe he had another family, right? My dad keeps his swimming myth up. It's really weird. Like, he swims with people, but he doesn't really know anybody there. And he swims with them every day, he says. It takes a huge amount of time because he has to drive really far. It wouldn't surprise me if he had, like, another family or if he had, like, again, a secret. Like, when I was a little kid, like, this was probably, like, 92, 1992. My dad confessed to me he was a serial killer. Maybe he saw it on TV and he wanted to sound cool, which is such a douchey thing to think is cool. Maybe he thought I wouldn't remember. Maybe he really was, right? Wouldn't surprise me. But anyway, yeah, he had the remarkably selfish, like, the people I knew were selfish and cruel. They had an intellect toward hurting other people. Teachers, neighbors, other kids. Like, by the time I was fourth grade, I was wretchedly alone and crying every day. I was like, this is a nightmare. I'm just a kid and life is a nightmare. That's a real song. Welcome to America. Nah, this place ain't worth it. Life, fuck you. I don't like you. I know what time it is. It's snake o'clock. It's all about me 30. It's how can I win express. It's my time to shine. All about me. It's all about me. Why? Because those people bred and survived. You know, you can look at territorial animals like squirrels. Squirrels are every animal is territorial. Stay off my shit. Get out of my area. Don't you touch a single nut I've buried. And no touching my girls. And that got offspring to the next generation that provided enough food, that kept enough security, and that got enough breeding going that those creatures survived. And so the mammals that exist now are, especially the apes, the chimps, like they go, what happened to the Neanderthals? I'll tell you what happened to the Neanderthals. Racism happened to the Neanderthals. There was a class and breed of human that people didn't like, and they deliberately went out of their way to kill them. Guaranteed. You know? Red ant, black ant. Winner takes all. Does this have a purpose? None that I can see. You know, if there's some real heaven from some real God, you know, may he let my soul into it. May when I die I fly through a tube and visit my Lord, but more than likely it's just an hallucination of my head and I don't exist again. You know, it was a there will never be a happy day for me. It's just a promise by someone trying to sell you music. You know what I mean? Love sells. Love doesn't exist. It's a baby. You're looking for a baby. Maybe there's people who love each other their whole lives. I hope so. Why couldn't God send me one of them? Where's my twin flame? Where's my soulmate? Where's my loyal wife, right? Well, those are other people's wives. They fucking fought for that shit more. They fought for that shit and had better home support. You know what I mean? The Jehovah's Witness kids used to go around the neighborhood with guns, forcing the other kids to get naked. It was not a like people are not nice. People suck. People royally majorly suck. There's one time and it's all about them. And you better not get in the way of that. That's how they are. What was nice and palatable? These are not children of God. Do not let them tell you they are children of God. No God made them. They came from survival and fucking. That's where they came from. They came from success. They came from success over what? Death. Success over others. You know, if you're a winner, winners don't win without losers. There's no such thing as, I mean, we've tried to make win-win, but it's driving these people crazy because there's a ton of like disabled schizophrenic people who aren't getting culled from the gene pool, which is how they do it in nature. Yeah, that's why these people viciously pick on weaker members. It's like if you exalt the truly great ones and you tear apart and bring down the mediocre to the awful ones. I guess that's what I was. You know, even though I've got some talents that you guys would probably find useful, you're never going to have them, or you'd have to develop them on your own, or maybe I mean, why do I think my talents in art came from me? They were probably some ancestor developed them, and some famous artist who could do amazing things bred a bunch. You know, now everyone has art talent, right? Anyway, it's sad. Maybe soon you'll have designer babies who live forever. Hey, here's how I would do it: keep the eating, but make it optional. Give them an energy source inside their body and make them psychic. They should all be quantum. They should be able to feel the universe from inside themselves. And make them, of course, hyper beautiful. Do not shy away from extremely exalted body traits. Like, why not give it to them? Let the men be ultra hulks with dicks to their knees, and let the women be ultra goddesses with like all that. Keep that going, the whole mating thing and the beauty of it. It'll keep us intimidating to aliens at least. And yeah, let them live in bliss and perfection, and make them immortal, and then you'll have a human who's kind of like worthy of existence. But right now, I mean, like, I was on the dogged end of the fucking worst fight of all time, right? The fight between the U.S. government and the world. Like, the U.S. government, I mean, you think the U.S. government's your friend? It's a giant police state. They spend more than their GDP on cops just to keep you in line. They've got no problem throwing most of the citizens in jail. They don't show any of this on TV. They just show it's like, oh, it's happy again in America. That's fake as fuck. And they had no problem committing genocide against and they're not even natives. Like, this is how dirty and shitty it is. You're like, if you follow the actual history of the Native American wars, like, the natives did some really dirty, awful shit to us too. And then you find out DNA wise they're actually descendants of Genghis Khan. I go like, oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. They're horse lords. They want to raid. It was like it literally like the reasons we had problems is like, hey, can we mine gold here? No, it's sacred. You can't touch it. It's sacred. What does sacred really mean? It means me human, me like it as it is, right? No touch my stuff. That's all it is. It's sacred. Sacred is just an elevated form of don't touch my shit, which is the most basic fight on planet Earth is two beasts roam to the top of the hill and each thinks he owns the hill. And if you want to mate, if you want to mate as a man on this plane legitimately, you got to win fights. You can't just be the Homer Simpson slave class like my dad was. Because if you're a Christian, you're the slave class. I guarantee the people who invented Christianity, like the Romans, they know it's all fake. Like, I guarantee you go to Sweden, they're like laughing at you. Ha ha ha. You got stuck by the slave cult. Cut a piece of your dick off, no touching any girls, and you better work for your Lord. That's what it's about. It sells you a bridge to nowhere. It says you'll get it back when you're dead. That's what it does. It's pretty fucked up. And it's all a myth. Dang, I'm still cool. What time is it? I gotta check. It is 8:17. Yeah, I got to like 9:40. Yeah, tinfoil on the windows and in the shade. Sleep forever. I'm just a kid and life is a nightmare. Yeah, it was though. It was though. They made it way worse than it needed to be. When you got a kid who's 2 making a belt noose in his fucking closet, God, life sucked, man. It really did. My brother had it worse because he had me as an older brother. Believe me, shit rolls downhill. I used to choke my brother out till he went unconscious, but I'd always let him go like the moment his body went lifeless. And it's because he was a little up and riser too, you know. My brother definitely wanted to eat me and take my place. Like, yeah, he tried. He tried, but I physically dominated him again and again. That's why he shakes when I get around him. But and there's nothing to talk about. Like, you think you're going to love your mom forever? Everybody I know who stays around their mom eventually gets tired of her because what else is there to do? You know, nature's got to move you on, get the seed out from the roost, right? I'm tired of it. We are way too smart and we've measured and looked at way too much. And we understand life way too much and how it works to still participate. We're like, this shit is fucking awful. See, there's no there. I don't want to earn a prize that someone had to lose in order for me to get. That's all the lottery is. The lottery makes a fool of every single person who bought a ticket but you. You want to beat everybody, win the lottery, right? Same thing with attractive traits. Attractive traits only work because there's unattractive traits. The Bible was written by a person who was married to his own unattractive traits. He throws men with big dicks under the table. He throws beautiful men under the table. You know, he makes them the enemies of existence, and then with some frumpy, frumpy, weird logic, right? But I grew up with that as a kid, going, "This is the word of God." Like, I was trying to puzzle over it. I was like, "Oh, here's the deep wisdom." Nope, it doesn't know world history. If it doesn't know world history, it certainly fucking can't help you morally or find God. And so, if people can imagine, like, puppy pregnancy syndrome, rabies in Latin American continents, uh, they think it makes you pregnant with puppies. And so, people would hear during rabies cases, they would all report they hear puppies barking from within the body. If people can imagine puppies barking within the body, what do you think some people with drugs and a holy book can do? Like, awful shit. That's all it is. All those cults, every single you can study the history of religions. They all have to do with psychedelic mushrooms. You got to take some. That's why they banned them too. Is they were tired of people being religious. But the problem is for me psychologically is that unless I'm being like loved and ravished, which I never do. Like, I've gotten a few head scratches from my mom and a few, like, I paid for some massages, but nobody's out here on a freaking, on a bed. There's not no group of women going, "Oh, he's so great." Why? I haven't won any fights. You know what I'm saying? You gotta if you want to have the girl, you gotta fight everybody, become the best, and then something inside of you that nature gave you will click and let you be that alpha male. And so this is where drugs piss people off, is that you want to know who can get women that are way hotter than they deserve, people who are high. And it's because it tricks the body's internal mechanisms and they know it. That's why they made it illegal too. Here's the thing. You don't think there's not a big dick hormone that can make your dick huge? Of course there is. You just you just won't hear about it because they don't want everybody to have it. Because what's the point in having a huge dick if everybody has one? There's none. It only works if nobody has a big dick but you, which is where BPA comes in. They're putting estrogen in the water. Estrogen in the water does two things. It makes the women more womanly, gives them bigger tits, and it makes the men bitches. It makes the men, like, half these men who are just like emotional gay cucks, they're not really gay. They've just been poisoned by fucking estrogens their whole life. They don't have a chance. Who is poisoning them? People with private water supplies and people with knowledge of the chemical warfare. You know, if you give a man in a rich family the ability to make every other man a cuck and to give him the biggest and best penis, he will slam that lever like this. He won't stop. You think he won't? Bill Gates did it. Bill Clinton did it. Jeffrey Epstein did it. All these guys did it. Anybody lived a day, they know what time it is. It's snake o'clock. Winner takes all. That's all it is. You know. Who knows what other poisons I've had, either trying to kill me or trying to make me docile, right? Like, I mean, if they do it, we want. That's what happened to the Greys. Actually, that's what the Greys are supposed to be. They're supposed to be dimensionally traveling future humans. You know, they have shriveled bodies and giant heads, and they lost their emotions due to just tampering with life. But you know, life was never innocent. This place ain't innocent. You know, it's like one of the things I noticed is let's talk about natural powers. One of the natural powers has to do with what happens when you stop bathing. When you stop bathing, your environment will become impeccably clean. You have to get past the mold, and you have to get past any mold that develops around you. Tell yourself it's yours, it's an extension of you. And then your environment will be completely sealed. Like nothing fucks with me, neither at night nor at day. I don't have any problems with any creatures ever. Ever. You know, I can hear even, it's so quiet out here that I can hear even when a mouse runs. But it doesn't mean nothing's around. And yeah, I've looked it up all my seats and I've checked around. Again, like my claim, it's like only mine is really true. I've never had a visitor, not since I did the work to not have one. And a part of that has to do with my smell and my oil and the things off my body are everywhere. It's my space. I'm not cleaning every day. So here's where cleanliness comes from. Cleanliness comes from, really, it's for slaves, right? Cleanliness is for slaves. It's for people who hate the physical form. And I know there might be other reasons for it, but there's really not. It just has to do with hatred. If you're being forced by the Christian slave cult to stay clean, it's because the master hates looking at dirty servants. Masters, here's the thing, people always default on thinking I'm smarter than all of you, right? And so you got some like lord or emperor on his little balcony looking out at his slaves. He sees them dirty and he goes, "Oh, these fools, they don't even know what dirt is," right? It's like those rich people going, "Oh, don't give money to poor people. They don't know what to do with it." Right? They wouldn't know what that, they don't even know what that's for. They couldn't appreciate it. They're just poor, right? That's what people are with each other. But the reason they're that way is there ain't no food coming out of the hills. There ain't no fucking fruit coming out of rocks. You know what I mean? You want some food? Some motherfucker grew that. That wasn't easy. He had to till the soil. He had to prepare the land. He had to have earth that could handle it, and he had to fertilize it, watch it grow, and then ship it. And you know, it takes an enormous amount of society engineering just to produce enough food and variety for everybody all the time. That's a remarkable achievement that pretty much, and I don't know anywhere in America particularly you'll stay hungry for too long. If you're actually in a desperate situation and you want help, there's there's lines that you can use that'll help you. Um, you'll be able to get help. You'll get fed. You'll get housed. No one's starving. There's an abundance of food. No one's really starving. But, you know, I'm like, here's my social theory, right? All right, so the people who took over the Americas were fighting fighting off the natives, fighting off the Asian colonizers. They don't remember they were Asian colonizers because they have an oral tradition. Like human beings telling stories without evidence is almost always not good. The less you can prove it, the less true it is 100% of the time. Don't trust it. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it, you know. And here's how we know that. The Bible gives definitively a creation story for how all of existence comes to be. Well, if we find physical evidence that things existed way before this, you know, the Christians have come to a halt going, the devil made all that. The devil made dinosaurs to confuse your faith. That was, in my age, that was a valid reaction, was saying that. But yeah, ain't nobody your friend. Ain't nobody my friend. Nobody's ever called me. Not even my own mom. Nobody my whole life has ever sent me something nice. They've made demands when they want to demand something, when they want to push their weight around and complain, when they want to make me the object of their problems. Yeah, then they right, but never just to be friendly. Not once. Not once. Not one of you have ever reached out and been like, nice to know you. You think any one physical person has actually watched one of my videos all the way? Probably not. But I'm doing this because I at least intuit that, given time, eventually, hey, do you want to hear the words of a person living in the 2000s? They're in the 4000s. You want to hear the 2000s? Yeah, that's priceless. They're gonna be like, what was that? What was that like? It was a lot of emptiness, a lot of just dry disappointment, dirty streets, people on the streets you can't trust. You just met someone, not your friend, not your friend, probably a thief. You know. I hear like here's the like they were. I have a real DD-214 and I had real like military service, right? They were still trying to put me on the he's a fraud bus. And there's people I know who are utter frauds that they just believe. They're like, oh yeah, you served, and he never did. He made up his DD-214. All of his military gear he wears, he bought from a surplus store. Like, he's not real at all. He's not. I've got photos of me in Iraq at my parents' house. At least I used to. Yeah, he's not. Anyway, yeah, my parents think they're better than me. That's why. That's why, like me showing art, put like they they fucking it changed their whole story because it took their dominance and their betterness of me out of the equation, and now all of a sudden I got a talent they can't show, and they're like, oh, now they don't want to talk to me no more. Now it's no longer make Chris wrong o'clock and force him to do shit he hates. I told them what I like doing. They didn't listen. They made me do things I said I don't want to do. Who's gonna have the love and loyalty of their son if every day you force him to go do things he says he hates? Nobody. You should have listened to what I said I wanted. I would have been a great actor. I'm hilarious, especially in the moment. But I have to have confidence and feel welcome, because I've also been fought a lot. Like, you may be like, oh, this joke is funny, I'm gonna make it. Nope. Everybody hated that. Robin Williams killed himself, you know what I'm saying? I know what time it is. It's meat o'clock. And the future of humanity is just going to be the breeders. Like, the people who make it are going to be the people who are numb enough and successful enough and winning enough that they just do it anyway. They just keep breeding and keep it going. And hopefully, if we have some bunkers, like 100 million, like but I mean, I guarantee you, like, where do the Neanderthals go? Racism. They looked different than us, and so we killed them. that's that's humanity. You got twins. There's plenty of not all twins make it out of the womb. Some twins eat the other twin. They strangle them in the womb and then they fucking devour their bodies. People are capable of doing that. It's Snake Island. Like, don't think it's not. I am a continuation of every successful animal there's ever been. Right? Every one of my ancestors was a winner. Every single one. But like me, I'm not a winner. I don't have any girls. I don't have any fucking money. Most humans are programmed. If they hear that, they'll turn you off right away. I don't want to hear another word he says. Yeah, this is really like this is where the losers gather to complain about the winners. But it is like it's Cutthroat Island. Nobody's out here making sure I have enough. Nobody. Nobody's ever made sure I had a girlfriend. Nobody's ever made sure I loved myself. Nobody's ever made sure I was rested enough. They just tried to twist and wrest and get more out of me to get some social standing, right? I mean, if you want to tell a joke, you're telling the joke. Nietzsche said that the symptom of laughter is cruelty or something, or laughter is a symptom of cruelty, or the root of laughter is watching something get eaten, right? And that's what we are. Some real psychos made it to the future. Because it doesn't matter how it got there. If you impregnated her and the kid got raised, maybe the kid doesn't even have to get raised. Maybe he's just like an absolute monster. He can live on his own. That's what makes it to the future, right? Man-woman pair bonding. It's easier to get a kid to the future if you got a man-woman working together. Humans working together, sure, there's in-group, out-group. Humans know how to work together. I've been on plenty of details. You can just disappear in a mass of people doing something, right? Oh God, lifting stuff is hard. There is no not heavy object in the universe. You know what I mean? If humans are physically doing all the work getting it anywhere, it's hard. It's hard to get through the earth. It is. It's tough to bore a hole in the earth. Nothing here comes easy, right? I'm just a kid and life is a nightmare. Yeah, it's pretty bad, guys. I wish I had a family, but with what means? From where? My dad had me because he was obsessed with his sexual organ. He wanted to fuck a pretty woman and he was Catholic, so he said I'm going to do the traditional family, but he wasn't investing in me. He listened to what I said I wanted to do and he diminished it because he was threatened by it. He was happy. My dad was happy challenging me to chess. My dad never let me win once. He was just an oppressive bully at chess. One time I was playing GoldenEye at home. Like I said, like as soon as Halo came out, as soon as those games came out, my dad had money. But just for that, he never said, "Here's $200, Chris, spend it." It was like I got $90 from my mom. She had to ask when I went to Disneyland. My mom could get me money, but my dad couldn't. Nope. Anyway, I went to Disneyland with a class trip. What else? Something. What was I talking about? Oh, it's funny. Dang, I can't remember. Oh yeah, GoldenEye, the GoldenEye story. So I got really good at GoldenEye. I was able to pass all the time trials. I'd been playing multiplayer. So let my dad start playing, and my dad had just started playing. So anyway, I gave my dad the RCP 90, and like 30 times in a row, I slapped him to death. Yeah, it was. I forget what level it was, but the RCP 90 is it's an extremely high rate of fire. It's the best gun in the game. It fires precision bullets that do a lot of damage. It's the multiplayer king. You can't. You only. I wasn't playing Odd Job either. I don't think. But anyway, yeah, I just open karate chop hands. Every time my dad would respawn, I knew all the respawn points intuitively, so I would like sneak up on him and I'd slap him to death. And I did it again and again. Well, he fucking ripped the he ripped the game machine out of the wall and put it in his room and banned me from touching it. He had all these. He totally threw a fit. He fucking grounded me for kicking his ass in a game, despite the fact that he used to kick my ass in chess. My dad was totally fine beating me in chess 10 times in a row because he's this pathetic little Homer Simpson and he can finally dominate somebody and I fucking hate him. But anyway, when I kick his ass, he fucking grounds me. It's not fair anymore. It's not funny when it's happening to you. You know what I mean? And that sort of hypocrisy and two-facedness is what Cannibal Island is all about, right? Bill Clinton loved sending young men to jail. Like, he ignored the presidential pardons. Imagine you're an 18-year-old sleeping with a 17-year-old. That's not pedophilia. What? You're talking about it's legal in so many other countries to go even younger than that, and you're the same age. Like, they're less than a year apart. That's not pedophilia. But there's young men who go to jail, especially under Bill Clinton's watch, for that very thing, being 18, sleeping with a 17-year-old, all because people want to make an issue out of the hard 18 only rule. 18 plus is a different category. Anyway, he was fine with that, but then he's visiting Jeffrey Epstein on Pedo Island getting blowjobs from 14-year-olds. And he has no problem with that duplicity. No problem with that duplicity whatsoever. You know why? He's getting rid of sexual rivals. He's throwing men who could potentially take his girls under the bus. That's a trait that is inborn in men. Men who were successful managed, diminished, controlled, and thwarted the sexual activities of other men. They did. They just did. He had no problem sending them to jail, labeling them sex offenders, but he wants special treatment for his pedo island 14-year-old thing because it's all about him. He's 100%. Bill Clinton is all about Bill Clinton. 100%. Nobody else in life matters but him. 100%. All of his charm, all of his niceness, all of his haha, that is a carefully calculated facade to fool you. His ancestors figured that trick out. He doesn't care about you. He's not a good guy. You think Bill Clinton is a nice person? Nah. He had no problem lying about global warming to get him and fucking Al Gore into office. You still have people trying to make that true. It's not true at all. It's just a cult. It's a cult of people trying to be smarter than everyone else. Mount St. Helens blew more carbon in the atmosphere than we've ever produced. And they go, oh, that's different. No, it isn't. None of your predictions of warming have happened like you've said. And it's what, 30 years after the fact in my age. It's like 30 years after the global warming hoax first got going. And they are still believing it. They believe it exactly like you are shunned unless you do. You're not smart enough. You haven't read the right books. You wouldn't know truth if it was right in front of you. That's how they treat me. That's how they treat us. If you don't agree with all of the things they say. Same thing with, like, here's the thing. I don't have kids because I don't like you. I don't want my children to grow up among you. I think you guys are fucking trash. You're trash. That which succeeded. It wasn't about good or evil. It was about ruthlessness. It was about winner takes all. Because here's the thing. Let's say I'm good. Let's say I just have my one wife and have kids, right? The man who decides that he needs more and he's going to be selfish and he's going to have 10 wives and then he's going to take and kill the other wives, that guy just won on a new level that no other good man did. You know, and that's why it exists. That's why it exists in the psyches of men. The psyches of men have all of the victorious fathers of the past in them. And those guys were cutthroat. Those guys put them and their dicks above other people and their dicks. And the funniest thing is that as soon as a successful trait becomes ubiquitous, now the trait's almost a problem. How are you going to get society going if everyone's an ultra ruthless winner? It worked when it was one of you, but it doesn't work when it's all of you. So now you have a new situation, new selection criteria. You know, who's literally physically the best? Who's got the best skin, the best eyes, the best look? Who's the most beloved, etc. That's who wins. It was never about kumbaya. It was never about kumbaya. All the reincarnation religions gave a time scale for Earth that's way too long. And they weren't using evidence. They were just making it up. They were just guessing. There is no evidence to any religion that's substantial enough it's true. It just hasn't been. It never will be. So they're making it up. Yeah, you got that. I've sold you that idea. You believe me now. What was I talking about? The religion. Yeah, it's just namby-pamby fucking stupid shit. It's just namby-pamby stupid shit. I win. I'm better than you. Ha 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 ha. And then you teach your kids that. They're not like us. And now you have a whole earth full of people who are, ruthless succeeders. Those the Romans. Yeah, they err for beauty. It's funny when the female beauty traits infect men, you know. You'll have like an extremely effective trait for a woman such as being lithe and ultra beautiful and having all these great traits. On a boy, the boy will be just a reject. You know why? Because he's this little effeminate man. This place is brutal. This place is rough. There ain't no God here watching it. There's not. If there's not historicity to the books, if there's not historicity to the religious books, then there's no God. There's no deity going, psst, say this. That's never happened. What happened is An ancestor said, God told me, and he had some charisma. Somebody with charisma had the bright idea to say God talks through him, and that was extremely persuasive because people can't tell the difference. They really can't. And that's how it all got that's why humans are that way. You know? You think it's not that way? I guarantee every shopkeeper standing at a corner thinks the whole thing is about him. And you have Abraham Hicks leaning into that, going, "Oh yeah, it is all but law of attraction." There's no law of attraction. It's as fake as ever been. And people looking for evidence to confirm what they think will find evidence for what they think. But there's really no. This is meaningless. You know, the worm o'clock. Humans are like worms, anyway. Yep, the ones who were the nicest and the easiest to be around were not necessarily the ones who made it. The ones who made it were ruthless, and they put themselves above all others. And that's why we're all that way. That's why humans are that way with each other. And it is beautiful. It's a beautiful, efficient system. Yeah, you might be able to win with one generation. Yeah, you could be a Genghis Khan or a Charlemagne and claim divine right and get, produce all this. But what's going to happen is that, when everybody is a Charlemagne, now they're all like Charlemagne. Well, Charlemagne's traits are no longer unique and advantageous. Now you have a new level of selection going on. You know what I mean? It is selection. There's sexual selection. There's a few tests, right? You have to pass the sperm test. You have to be the fastest, quickest, luckiest sperm, or out of trillions. That's what we all are. We're all winning sperm. That's why it was always funny for me swimming. I was like, I could feel the inhumanity of it. Like, go back and forth, you fucking piece of sperm. You know what I mean? But you pass that, and then you have to pass the social tests. You have to be able to beat your peers, which is where I fell down. My peers were ruthless. They didn't want to let me win. It hurt. It hurt. They didn't want to let me win. They did not want me, and the other boys did not want to let me win. You know why? Because boys that let other boys win don't make as many babies with the choice women. That's why. It's a the paying attention to breeding and changes over time by breeding was pretty much the only thing we needed to know how all of us came about. I wasn't created by God. No, I'm not made in the image of God. That motherfucker was trying to inflate my ego to get me stuck in his cult. No, 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 no. I come from sexual selection. I come from genetic evolution, right? That makes sense to me. Even the dinosaurs had bones in their body. I'm not much. The T Rex had a skull. I have a skull. I'm not too far from him. But what's the best you could make it? What I would say is, uh, I don't know, guys. Like, I kind of hate it so much. I don't really care. I don't really care. Like I've said many times, not one fish has been spared from a bear's belly. You know what I mean? Like, when it's time, it's time. And, not one, birds. Oh, birds are so cute. No, they're not. They're terrors to millions of insects. Like, birds eat hundreds of insects all day. Every insect out there is, like, trained to move away and avoid birds and hide, right? The hiding culture, the stealth games. You've got people who will sidle on the outside and be quiet to listen to what's going on instead of putting their own energy forward. They would they would rather spy and be absolutely silent and not say or do anything just so they can hear somebody else, because that's like predator prey, right? That's very earth war. Don't get caught lacking. Don't be caught outside protection. Don't be caught not aware. And so they would rather suppress their own being, stop breathing, suppress their heartbeat, just so they can hear somebody else and gain some tactical clue. It's really just, it's not nice. It's cutthroat. Let's talk about this as an irony. The U.S. goes into the Nazis and says, bad you, no committing genocide against the Jews. So they took all the Nazis that killed Jews and killed them, right? So already they're not morally superior. They're just like, all right, Death for the death. And then meanwhile, they're missing that Jews are genital mutilators. Jews genitally mutilate children. It's in their religion. They cut their children's genitals up with knives when they're babies. It's a horrendous practice. It hurts. No God told them to do it because their book lacks historicity. It's obviously not the words of God. It's awful. It's awful. Yeah, the Nazis said there'll be one Nazi party across the earth, but that's what the Jews said. They said we're the chosen people of God, no one else has it. You got to genitally mutilate children. So, and then we became on the side of the Jews. We even set up a Jewish state. We were genitally mutilating children in America well past the 2000s, saying, "Oh, they can't feel pain." I was one of the last children that was genitally mutilated in mass in this country. You know what I mean? Like, these people don't care. None of them are good. None of them are good. Bill Clinton was fucking 14-year-olds when he was sending young men to jail for being 18 sleeping with a 17-year-old. You know what I mean? It is Snake Island, people. If you don't know that human beings are literally as bad as the trash they make, then you don't know shit. You've been duped. Somebody told you love is real. The reason they have you focus on the reason they focus on the nice energies is it's the only thing stopping non-stop permanent war. Which, the only reason you eat is somebody bothered to grow and maintain cattle. The only heroes are the people who are providing food easily. That's it. If you make food and you make energy and, like, yeah. I'm sure if you get into it, that's why Tesla never had a wife. I know he said it was, you know, not very many great inventors have had women in their lives because they just distract so much time and attention. And women have tricks too. They have tricks to make the whole thing about them and to raise their social standing. And pickup artists call it monkey bars. It's a pickup artist will just tell you no girl has a girlfriend, no girl has a boyfriend. She doesn't have a boyfriend because if you move up and you provide the better entertainment, better offer, she's going to drop her boyfriend for you 100% of the time, but only if it's a better offer. She won't even, she could be with him for 10 years. The moment she meets the guy of her dreams, she's never had a boyfriend before. They've got to do the monkey bars because that's how they've had to survive, right? Go from guy to guy. There's plenty of women in history have just used men to move up the social ranking. And they got tricks for that. Those men are duped. They don't know what their ancestors developed. They got, in a way they're complicit with it. But yeah, ain't nobody here deserves to be loved. Nobody. They're not that good. There's just nothing that is Rat Island. Snake o'clock. So, yeah, it says it's going to be partly cloudy tomorrow. And then the next day it'll be like 50 degrees, which I can't wait to see. I'm going to be here for that. Yeah. Yeah, it used to be so cold that I would feel the wind coming through the window and be like too cold and I'd be like running the Yeah, I was up here running the heater 24/7 earlier and now it's too warm. It's only like 80, which is relatively not bad, but yeah. It's been sad, I would love to find a like-minded woman who liked me and who was like to my preference what I've been looking for because I'm not going to settle for less than I want. Like it's not good enough. And maybe she'll either be rich or I'll have some like extra income. Like maybe I'll meet a rich woman who's really hot and likes me, but I certainly am not going to be playing with anybody who's not reliable. It's almost game over for that. But what's the point in doing that? Just to have some kid to die in a chemical war later or some later tech? It's entirely possible you could develop a type of technology that from your fucking basement you could dematerialize the planet. It's not impossible. So, but now that an hour of complaining and I feel straight up sick, I could probably puke. God, I got old and ugly. How did that happen? I was so pretty a little while ago. Now I'm like, it's just. I think it's when I gave up and complained too much. It's just like, It's over. Hey, you know, the nicest isn't the one who wins. The best isn't the one who wins. You understand that, right? It's not the best either. It's all the physical action of what got the child made and what got the child raised. It doesn't matter good or bad. It doesn't. It doesn't even matter talented or not. I've seen plenty of absolutely talented people who are well-intentioned get wrecked by the shitty shenanigans of others, you know. There's certainly not a God. Certainly not. And if there is, he didn't author any of the books in this place. Didn't tell anyone what to say about it either. Otherwise, you would give useful, interesting information. It doesn't give any useful information. It sells you a bridge to nowhere. Pray to the Lord. Who is he? Well, he's an invisible person. And then you have everyone getting together. They always enter church. They'll do a proclamation of belief. If you say it and everyone repeats it, gosh darn, that's the way it is. I am still in the shade up here. Look at this. I'm still in the shade. I could have slept in hours and hours. This isn't too bad. A little rocky crag. Anyway, thanks for listening this far, whoever you are. Hopefully my account doesn't get lost in time. It would be normal for, like, here's how this place has respected millions of lives. I worked really hard. I built everything I wanted, and then somebody came along and stole it. That's what time it is, guys. You think Genghis Khan was growing food? Fuck no. He was stealing food. That's who these people are. Oh, we got attacked. We're going to invade Iraq. No, that's exactly like, you know, you see those dogs in a pecking order. The big dog will beat up the little dog, or the medium dog, and the medium dog will turn around and beat up the little dog, and that's all it was. Like, somebody naming, like, Saudi Arabia kicked the U.S., and the U.S. said, don't you do that, Saudi Arabia, fought Iraq. That's George Bush, a little fucking monkey guy. Well, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if it was an inside job to hide financial crime. And that's because the U.S. funded Al-Qaeda through the Pakistani ISI in the 80s. Al-Qaeda originally was designed to throw the Russians out of Afghanistan, and they did it through Pakistan. They did it through the ISI. And so Al-Qaeda was basically just sitting around drying and in standby. And then when they turn around and start attacking the U.S., you know, it could be the story the radicalized dog became too hard to control. But I think it was more likely the CIA was already so deep in some secret operations that they... God, that looks good. Check that out. I've been looking at that. That is awesome. I drew that, right? I'm an amazing artist. I think so. I've got a talent and it comes out really cool. And the reason I'm saying that is I didn't start drawing until I was in my 30s. You know what I mean? Like, I had watched a lot of art, and I love my art. My art's really good. But, yeah, do you see that? I can never, I'm not super good at aiming it. I'm trying to, like, give you a view before it's gone, right? Like that. Whatever it is. Bottom of a shoebox. Used to be my mask container. And, yeah, hand-drawn, right? I'm a great artist. I really am. I can do great art. But, you know, haven't sold any NFTs. Thanks, guys. Like, all those, like, I'm a 12-year-old, I made $1 million. I'm like, how? I'm an adult, I live in my car. You don't think I don't deserve $1 million? I've wanted money my whole life. No one ever gave me any money. No one looked at me and said, I'm investing in you. They took a piece of my dick off and lied to me. You know, nobody ever gave me any money. Nobody ever showed up and said, here, I believe in you. Nobody! I fucking hate this place, and I hate you.